We're going to get to 3 ways you can make money as a web developer in just a second, but just quickly, I want to talk to you about Cloudways. There's going to be a time when you need to take your website live, and I strongly recommend you use Cloudways. I use Cloudways for pretty much all of my websites, about 90% of my websites. There's a lot of websites on Cloudways, and it makes the whole process of taking your websites live so easy. You can have Laravel websites, WordPress websites, other websites on there. It's just a dream to use. And if you're not an expert on servers and configuring servers, it's especially useful. You don't need to be an expert on servers. Cloudways takes all of the effort out of it, all of the pain out of it. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know, I use it for pretty much all of my websites. So I'll put a link in the description. If you want to check it out, feel free to. Now let's get on with the video. Welcome back to Coding Goblin and welcome back to another video of my face. When you think about being a self-employed web developer or running a web development business, what comes to mind? The chances are you are thinking of a very traditional business model where you are offering a service of web development to a client or a customer. Now, while this is a common route to go down when you become a self-employed web developer, it is not the only way to make money from web development. So in this video, I am going to go over 3 ways that you can make money whilst being a web developer. So let's get straight into it. Way number 1 is the traditional stereotypical way of making money from web development. And that is the method I just mentioned. And that is running a web development business or offering web development services to clients who need websites or who need some sort of online tools or some sort of web development services. Now, this is a very typical way and the go-to way for most people to make money as a web developer. And it's the kind of way that doesn't involve too much imagination. It doesn't involve too much fancy stuff. It's pretty standard. You advertise your services, you have a website, you run ads, you do that sort of thing to get inquiries to your business, and then you respond to those inquiries and you build relationships with clients and you carry out work for them. Very standard, very typical, very traditional way. A lot of businesses run like that. Now, this is a great way of making money from web development if you're getting started. And the reason for that is it allows you to get experience by working with clients, it builds your confidence, and you can make a reasonable amount of money relatively quickly. So think about it, if you have one client, you can be charging them thousands of pounds for a website, and that is one sale that's needed. So that's why this method is so popular and kind of the common route and the route that everyone thinks of, because it is just the normal route, the normal way of doing things. Now, this is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with going down this path because it's a tried and tested way of running a business. It's very standard. There's a lot of resources out there. People kind of understand it, and you know, it's normal. It's a normal way of doing things, but it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, because you might start doing this and you might go into it because you love building websites or you love building online tools. You have the love, the passion for web development. But once you get into it, you are going to realize it's not all about that. It's not all about building websites. It's not about actually coding. It's not about sitting at your desk, opening your laptop and doing what you love. A lot of what you're going to have to do is stuff that you might not love, and that is the client acquisition and the advertising and that whole process and customer service and everything that comes into dealing with clients. So this is a really important factor that you need to consider if you're going down this route, and it's something that you maybe want to think of, should I pair up with someone who has the skills that I don't have, or who has the passion for the parts of the business that I don't have the passion for? So maybe you have a friend, or you could look for a business partner who is an expert in sales and marketing, and you could pair up with them and they can do the sales and marketing and you can do the web development. So there are things to consider when you go down this route. But if you wait till the end of the video, I'm going to explain one very key point that links all of these 3 different types of web development business together. So stay tuned for that. So method number two of making money through web development is by creating your own products. So creating software as a service products, for example, you are creating one product and you are selling that to many people. And the way you can make money from this is by either doing one-off payments for your product, or commonly people like to do recurring monthly subscriptions. Now, this is a very attractive proposition for most people, very attractive in terms of the web developer making money. It's an attractive proposition from their point of view because you have to create one product and you're selling that exact same product multiple times to different people. So you're not having to do all this customization. You're not having to switch from project to project to project. You're not having to constantly change. You're not having to constantly do all of those things that could be quite mentally taxing. You're working on one product, you're mastering that product, and you're constantly improving that one product. And then your focus is selling it to multiple people. So you can see why this option is very attractive to a lot of people. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is a method that is very attractive to myself. And I do have a software as a service, but it is not a paid for software as a service. If you do want to check that out, I will put a link in the description. It's called Service Area Wizard. This video is not about that, but if you want to see the sort of thing I'm talking about, that is that. So this is a very attractive proposition because you're getting consistent monthly payments if your product's good. That is the caveat. If your product is good and people actually want to buy it. And you can then focus on marketing and sales. So from a solo developer point of view, this is very attractive indeed. It allows you to allocate your time. You can kind of see where you're doing things. It allows you to scale something more easily. So this is what I personally see myself doing long term if I can get a product off the ground and get something working. But as I alluded to previously on point number 1, there is a very important factor that links these 3 things together, and I will reveal that at the end of the video. So number 3, you can teach web development. If you are a web developer, you have expertise in web development, in particular frameworks, languages, whatever it might be, technologies, you can teach that to other web developers and you can charge for that. So this is also quite an attractive proposition to someone like myself because it plays into my skill sets. I'm not claiming to be an amazing videographer. I don't claim to make amazing videos. I don't think this style of video is the greatest style of video out there. I'm not claiming to be amazing. I don't have all the flashy equipment. I don't do things to a professional standard, but I do enjoy the process of creating videos, and I do enjoy the process of doing tutorial videos for things that I am an expert in or things that I have quite a deep knowledge of web development wise. So all you need to know, and I am not the person who has coined this or come up with this, but you need to know slightly more than the people you are teaching. So you have the information that they want to know. So you don't even need to be the greatest expert in that field. You just need to know more than the people you are teaching. So this is quite an attractive prospect as well, probably more so than point number 1. But here is the thing that links all 3 of these methods together. They all come down to the same thing, and that is marketing. All 3 of these business models, for them to succeed, you need to do marketing and you need to get people on board. And that is basically the gist of all business. So it doesn't really matter which one you go into. So the way you need to go about it is pick one that meets your skill sets or fits in with your kind of wants and needs most and has the most going for it in terms of what you think you will stick at doing? What has the least amount of tasks that are going to fill you with dread? And if one of them sticks out and you think, do you know what? Like, for example, if you're going to go down the traditional business to client, building websites for them one-on-one route, if you don't enjoy dealing with clients, that's not going to be the route for you, or you're going to have a real hard time and you're really not going to enjoy it. That's not to say you shouldn't do it, because it might just be the only option available to you, or it might be the easiest option for you to get started, but you are potentially going to find it a bit of a struggle at one point. That's not to say you can't start with one and switch to a different business model as you progress. But what you're going to realize is, as I just mentioned, you need to have sales and marketing for each of them. What I personally recommend is you think about how you're going to go about doing your marketing. And I am a strong advocate for starting a YouTube channel. One point on that, I haven't actually made sales from this YouTube channel yet, but I can see the potential, and I do know other people do use their social media to make sales, and their whole businesses are based off of their social media presence. So with that in mind, I strongly recommend you do that. Whatever option you do go down, I recommend you gamify the process. If you want to see how you can do that, check out this video here. Thanks for watching. The end.